Oh, what is going on, people? Feroncio here, and welcome to another live stream of Diablo 4 Hardcore. So, we are done with our Warlock, our Cabara Negra. So, and I also told you guys that I have two more hardcore characters at the max level. So we have a Spiritborn and I do have a Druid. And what we're going to do on today's stream is, showcase each one of them, their pros, their cons, how they play, if you should be playing them, if you shouldn't be playing them, what is your best, character in Diablo 4, what kind of
Ready for a massacre.
that you like, what kind of a race that you like or class. Is it a warlock, a paladin? We've done almost every single one of them here. Excuse me. And as promised, our warlock looks a lot different this time. Okay, it is by far not the optimal gear, but let me talk a little bit about why hardcore is so different and why season 14 it's a total different ball game than the past season. So season 14 had a lot of changes. They of course have new mechanics, and guys, it is very, very tough to survive in season 14. Okay, so there are a lot, huge differences on how do you play, what do you play, and how do you play really depends on what do you play. So if you're just playing regular, guys, just for the season content and you don't care, let me live here and let me pick up my rogue that I decided to level, and this is not hardcore, and you will see how much different it is to level, a non-hardcore. So we have here a Vinagre, which is just a regular rogue, and it is seasonal. Frankly, the life of this character is irrelevant. He doesn't die. Okay, so I'm free to test and push everything that I want with, gear that is totally trash. And if he dies, that's fine. Okay, because, all that is, it is just 10% in, our equipment. And then all we have to do is just come over here and say, all right, repair my equipment, because it has a degradation every time that we die. So, it is really trash. And frankly, because we are exchanging every time for better and better armor, so he doesn't actually die that much, it's still, it is a leveling process. Frankly, we don't care if he dies. He can push any content. He can even try to go on penitent, do some content on penitent. He can do the tricks that we, all know in order to get more experience. Like you go hell tide on the plan. Now you go collect all the cinders and then just push it up all the way to penitent. Go open those chests. However, you die, you lose only half of your cinders, and you come back with everything. Now, if you're hardcore, that's it. You end up, you have to start over. And it is not fun when you get all the way to level 50 and you go try a trick like that, your character kaput, just die. So there are things that you can do on the regular character that you can't afford to do on a hardcore character. So this guy here it took me like, let's check it out. Sometimes people say, how long does it take to bring your character up to this point? Okay, so he's level 56, if I'm not wrong. Let's see. How long does it take? Okay, level 56, he is normal. And I think that is a way to know how long we've been playing with him. So let me check. Edit list order is not. I think it is on the game options. Gameplay, controls, accessibility, no. There is a way that says, oh, I know. Okay, so it is on your profile. So let's check it out, how long I've been playing with this guy. And of course, that is on and off. There were times that I left the keyboard unattended, but it should give you an idea on how long we were logged in on this. So if I go here on the profile, it says I've been playing this guy for 7 hours. It's down on the bottom. It says, time played 7 hours. So it took me 7 hours to get him from 0 to level 56. So it's going to take about 10 hours of game to bring him, to level 60, to level 70, or maybe, let's say that takes 10 hours to take it. So let's go check the other guys. How long did it take to bring the Warlock all the way to the way it is? And by the way, I've done some work on him, so it is not just leveling that we are talking about here, but there was also some gear farming all the way to this point, so he could, he's doing Torment now, so it is a substantial jump from where it was. So now I played him 17 hours. So 17 hours on the game, so this is duration. And also it is what we call effort, because we've been logged in and working with this guy during these 17 hours. So duration and effort all the same in here. So it takes 17 hours to bring 0 all the way to where it is at the moment, and that includes a lot of crafting, a lot of stuff. And if you notice, I have equipment here which is ancestral, which is way better than what I have. Okay, one of these is a chest, and if you look at the current chest, it is a 458 item power, and it has only 1200 armor, okay, and 83 max life. So this is ancestral. This is going to last until I find my best in slot gear. So this gear has to be crafted in the way that I want it. So, but you can see it has +2 to torture wrench, which I don't use it. Now the other one is a little better. This is also ancestral. It has 1239 maximum life compared to the 83 that I have in there. Healing received, the resource cost reduction, which is, I really want that, but I don't want the healing received. So we will fiddle with those things, we will mess up with those things, and I'm going to take that healing received and I'm going to exchange for something else. Also, this guy has only 3 affixes, and of course a rare can have up to 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over here and add an affix on the cube. Okay, so this is how you create. You don't go out in the world and find that perfect piece. There is no such a thing in Diablo 4. you will use the cube to tinker with it and put it the way you want with the attributes that you want. So right now, this guy has only 3 affixes. One of them I don't want. I can actually go and do a chaotic reroll in here and take that healing received. However, because that healing received is on the same category of resource cost reduction, even with a tuning prism, I have a chance to remove one of them, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to add an affix to this guy, and let's see what we're going to get. So remember, this is ancestral item, so now I have extra 121 willpower, and willpower is the main stat for the Warlock, so I'm very happy with this. Now the only thing I need to do here is take this to the enchanter, and that is where I am struggling at the moment, because I am willing to take this healing received and enchant with something else. So as you can see right now, I have 55 of these materials, and I'm going to use 25 of those. Guys, I am struggling here for materials at the moment because I've been using them a lot to craft the gear, and I have not run a lot of runs because I was waiting for the stream so you can see that. But right now, let's see what we have in terms of healing received. And if you don't know what we can get, we can gear here on view possible affixes and say, well, I can have life regeneration, maximum resource, armor, wrath regeneration. All of these are possible items, including +1 to 2 to defensive skills. I kind of like that, if I can get it, it will be awesome. But, there are specific skills here, like, Dark Prison, I can use it. Nether Step, I can use it. Torture Range, I cannot use Torture Wretch. I'm not using it. Wall of Agony, also, I'm not using it. So I would have to re-roll those. But, physical resistance, awesome. Resistance to all, fantastic. If I can roll resistance to all element in here, I'll be a happy camper. So this is, a chance, and as long as you have money and you can have enchanting materials, you can do it. So let's enchant that, and we got +2 to defensive skills, okay? Now, the question here is, do we have any defensive skills to use this? So let's go on our skills, and we have a skill available because of Paragon, and I am pumping up this guy here. So, but let's see which one of them, if defensive, it is defensive. So this guy, it is not a defensive skill, so this is a basic skill, this is a core skill, and this is defensive skill. So we get +1 to this defensive skills, and we got +1 to Dark Prison, and we got +1 to Nether Step. This is what we get. And, I don't have 11 on Dark Prison. It's just like item contribution is 10. So I placed 1 point in Dark Prison because I have runes that activate Dark Prison. But also I'm benefiting Nether Step have a lot just because of that +2 to defensive skills. So I can use this. So right now I have a pretty decent, chest that have way better than the previous one. I have way more life, I have more resource cost reduction, I have maximum life, I have willpower. Now I can go and temper this guy and add another affix. This is all about the affixes. Everything is a fix here, and I can even add more life. By the way, my temper recipes are still not on the top. Okay, as I progress, these numbers should jump, to 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, depending on how far away we go into farming. We will get better tempers after we start doing dormant level, runs. But at this point, I can add defense, I can add resistance, or I can add some utility like barrier generation. I can add fortified generation, a lucky hit if I need, sigil durations. I'm not using any sigil, so I don't need the sigil duration. And I just took impairment restrictions. So what I like a lot is fortify. Fortify, it's another source for life, so you gain fortification, you gain fortify. As you take damage, you decrease your fortify. So fortify is really good. I like it. Thorns, not so much. I don't get hit a lot, so I don't benefit a lot from thorns. But barrier and fortify, it's golden. However, I do have a lot of barrier, so let me check here if I have stuff. This is good stuff. See, I have a barrier for 90% of maximum life, whatever a damage in elite. This guy I need to replace because he is low level, but this aspect is simply fantastic. It applies vulnerable and weakened all the time, and I can explore that later on to have aspects that do a lot of damage multiplication to either vulnerable, like plus 50 times to vulnerable damage. Okay, so and weakened as well. So those are good. I get some fortify here, and fortify, you can read on the bottom, it is an additional reservoir of life that is trained to heal me over time. So every time I get a damage, I get a draw from my fortify, and I do a heal over time. So fortify is not bad. This is also barrier generation. So fortify is not bad, but I think I have enough fortify that I really don't need fortify. So let's see what else can I imprint on this dude here. So barrier generation, increase or generate more barrier, 10% more of what I would already generated. So this does not create a barrier. It just like if you would generate a barrier, you get 10% more of that time. So, I can imprint this later on. I don't really have anything that I want. I can put more life. It's not bad. I can do resolve stacks. Resolve is also good, but then again, I need to gain resolve in order to have more stacks. Or I can do resistance. Right now, I'm not going to imprint anything, but I do need to have a legendary aspect on it. And let's see if I can do that, because I was running out of material. So, and what I want to have is this guy here. I want to have, basic skills, which I use a lot. And that is my claw. Okay, so if we go here again to the skill tree, these are my basic skill. Oh, this is core. Okay, I use a lot of Hellion Sting. So every time I use Hellion Sting, which is all the time, then I gain damage mitigation. So every time I use that Hellion Sting, I gain 21 damage reduction for 4 seconds, and I do that every time, guys. So it is a constant 20% damage reduction, which is pretty good. The other ones, it's not so much. I have like this guy already, and I have damage in elite, which is the one that I have current on my chest, isn't it? Yeah, so I can actually reprint this guy and use the same one. So damage in elite, over here. Now the thing is, oh, I do have enough to imprint this, so let's imprint this aspect. And now I have, you know, a chest right here, which is the same one as the other one. The only difference is that this guy also does not have any sockets. So the next step is come over here and let's see if I have enough material and add a couple of sockets to this guy.
Ah, beautiful, no?
So now I have my chest piece with 2 sockets, legendary ancestral, you know, really good, a lot of life, a lot of willpower, resource cost reduction, plus 2 to defensive skills, imprinted with the thing that I want. So I'm going to switch this and I'm going to destroy this guy. So let's make sure that I'm destroying the right item. So this is the 498. So now I destroyed that, and that also will grant me some materials. Now this guy here, for me right now, it is no good anymore, and I don't think it will serve to any of my other characters. So I am also going to get rid of him, just because of the torture wretch. I really don't need that. So now we have another decision to make here. And before I progress, let me show you how important this thing is. If you do not have this on your hardcore, don't go on Torment. You will die. Simple as that. Please pay attention, because every single item on my gear have life. Okay? Maximum life. Maximum life. This guy also have maximum life, although, you know, it is, if you look at that, I had to enchant that into this unique. Okay, you see that there is a blue dot that is locked, and that was because I enchanted, I switched that, you know, affix for maximum life. So maximum life, maximum life. Even my weapon have maximum life. So all of gear, all of these gears have maximum life. There is not a single one of them that does not have maximum life. This is extremely important if you want to go on Torment. And believe me, if you don't have that much life out there, resistance, all of that stuff, besides that, you need to go take a look. If we go take a look at my stats here and check my resistances, so you're going to see that I am packing up, you know, resistance after resistance after resistance. The most important, lightning resistance, poison resistance, and shadow resistance. I do not have a lot of cold and fire. I need to get better. And one of the reasons, because this amulet here should also have a slot, and he did not. So we're going to add a socket to this dude, and that is where the problem is. I am missing material, right? That's the only reason why this amulet does not have a socket. And once he has a socket, you bet, you know, there will be a ruby here to help with the fire resistance. So right now we have a lot of stuff here that is kind of the way that I want. So what is the steps that we take when we're doing hardcore characters? First, you need to level, okay? And how do you level your character? You level that on normal. Don't be a hero. Don't try to do anything else because you're not gaining any advantage. Every single thing is exactly the same between normal and penitent. The only difference is the amount of experience that you're gaining and the amount of gold. There is no better gear, there is no unique items, there is absolutely nothing. The gear is exactly the same. The difference is just the experience that you're going to have. And you can always, before turning in a quest or war plan, you can just go crank it up, go, get it, open the chest, benefit from the orbs. Now you are on that level, you get extra experience because your experience orbs are going to give you a little bit more. After that, you just go back to normal and keep on doing it. Don't try to be brave. You will die. It's going to take a little longer, yes, but as you can see, it works. Take your time, enjoy the game, enjoy your build. Do not focus too much on crafting anything because everything is trash until you hit that level 70 and you start working with your gear and ancestral gear. At 850, it's the minimum that you should spend your materials, and 900 is optimal, so excellent. Another thing that we have here is I'm going to use, so most builds, will use a two-handed weapon. There is an aspect that says if you're having a two-handed weapon, you gain some extra benefits, and you have two of those aspects, one that actually does more damage if you have a two-handed weapon, and the other one that gives you more protection if you have a two-handed weapon. However, when you have a two-handed weapon, you do a little bit more damage, but you lose an aspect on this slot, right? So that's why I am saving this dude here, because he is a great weapon, with a great aspect, and I can tinker this guy because he has 1793 maximum life, and you bet, this guy on the other side, we also have maximum life. So I'm double stacking on maximum life. And, if you did not get the message, get it. Maximum life, maximum life, maximum life. That's what is going to keep you safe in Torment all the way to the end of the game. As we progress, this gear will always have maximum life, and it's only going to increase. Okay? Don't sacrifice maximum life for damage if you're playing hardcore. That is very beautiful, very nice and true if you are playing normal season. But if you're playing hardcore, priority number one is staying alive. You're going to do 0 damage if you're dead. Okay, so doesn't matter. Oh, but Feroncio, I'm going to kill things way faster if I have more damage. Yes, but that is the glass cannon theory, right? And once you're dead, okay? And in hardcore, there is no such a thing as a glass cannon. You need to be the tank. You need to be able to sustain everything that is going to be thrown at you without flinching. So life is that important. So with that, guys, I think I have this guy here, which will cast Dark Prison for free, and that's why I have invested some points in Dark Prison, so this way I can tailor Dark Prison the way I want it. I have changed it, so Dark Prison is not a Hellfire anymore. Dark Prison is going to be the regular Dark Prison, And the good thing about this is that it is now an abyss, okay? So this is an awesome skill. However, it is a Hellfire skill, and it's the only Hellfire, and I'm not going to crank it up anything. So to benefit, then it needs to be an abyss. The other aspect, the other runes that I'm waiting for, that I'm going to put it over here, is the rune that say if I don't take damage for so long. Sorry guys. I got a Amber Alert. Oops. So, I was talking, okay, about the runes. So there is a rune that says if you don't take damage for so long, then, you know, you get some activation. And I'm waiting for the Bulwark skill that I can use. That is also another good runes, but I can only use 2 items with runes. So one of these will have to be with jewelry. So let's go take a look at what we do. We do a lot of shadow damage. By the way, all of this that we are doing is shadow damage. Okay, so going back to my skill, all of this stuff, this basic demonology, it is, this guy is physical damage, claws is shadow damage. So this does physical, this does shadow, and everything else should do shadow damage. So this is, it's not a damage. So my big demon rampage, this is shadow damage. And of course, shadow form does shadow damage. So everything that I do here is shadow damage with this exception. And I could switch this. I think we can do shadow damage by using Doom. But, you know, and by the way, Doom is not bad at all, okay? It generates wrath, but this guy is so good that, you know, it is key. But this guy will hex them, okay? Meaning that everything that I heard with Doom, you know, takes extra damage from Abyss skills. And you bet, everything here is pretty much an Abyss skill. So this is Abyss, this is Abyss, this is Abyss, this is Abyss, and my last guy here is also Abyss, right? So using Doom is not bad. And as a matter of fact, let's go take 4 points out of here and let's check. Oh, I didn't even need that. Look at that. Because I have so much item contribution here that I can just test Doom just to check how things will go. So let's see, Doom deals 1 time increased damage for each second they have been hexed. Doom generates 1 wrath every 2 seconds. Yep, I like wrath generation. Against the vulnerable or weakened or slowed, assimilated the effect causes Doom to also apply. You guys bet, we are causing vulnerable and weakened all over. So every time I cast Doom, if the enemy is vulnerable or weakened, you know, it assimilates the effect, causing Doom to also apply the effect. So if the guy is vulnerable, Doom will apply vulnerable. If the guy is weakened, Doom will apply weakened. I loved it. So this is really good. However, you know, casting Doom echoes 10% of its damage to... Nah, I don't need that. Now, let's go check this. Doom is cast at range, on the ground, leaving behind a mark that tethers your primary attack and hexed enemies. Whenever you kill a hexed enemy, Doom spread the hex to another enemy and do more damage. And this is a Hellfire. I really don't want that. So it's between Contagion and Jailer. I'm going for Contagion just to check. You know, let's take one more item here, put it over here. So now we're going to check how Doom actually works. So let's go and add Doom instead of Hellion Sting, and let's see if we like it. Okay, maybe I don't like it, but that would be really interesting, because now Doom is also one shadow damage. So I only do shadow, and if I do shadow, I can benefit for adding shadow damage like I've done. I do 16% more shadow damage, multiplied twice because of the stones that I have placed it in here. As I get better stones, I'll put better stones. Yo, bro, just came across this thing and drop a follow. Thank you. I'll read that later on. And welcome to the chat. And looks like that. If you're serious, take your channel to my next level. Add him to Discord. No, you can add yourself. Okay. My Discord is on the link. Feel free to add yourself, and enjoy the community, but I'm not adding anybody just because of a chat, okay? So let's go take a look at my what is going to benefit me if I put some things on. I got 40 willpower, so these things are going to give me healing, receiving, intelligence. The only thing that is really going to help me here is willpower. So I can add willpower to the armor, and so let's go and get 2 of those guys. And increase the willpower on my armor. So, and we'll leave this guy here for the runes. So, right now we can do some... okay, I already have this on the helm, so this is not going to work. Mobility. Nether Step is a mobility, but I'll need to cast it 2 times in order to activate this. Drinking, I don't want to drink anything. So everything else is just like invocation. This is activation ritual, and I don't have a lot besides casting an ultimate. If I cast an ultimate, that's pretty much instant, and I can do that. Okay, also I can inflict crowd control, but this is just 5 offerings. So I am going to get this until I have a better rune. So let's take one of these runes. Oh, where did they go, man? Okay, so it did not split, I guess. Yeah, it did not. So we'll have to split it over here. And then we will put the other one back. And now we will need to decide on the activation that we want to have. So we normally have some spirit wolves, but I can get critical strike chance, all the way to 10. This is really good, man. And you can see once we cast an ultimate, we're going to critical strike like crazy in shadow form. Okay, so this is vortex, concealment. We're already using the dark prison. We can gain movement, or we can hex people, conclusive stomp. So I am actually going to do this guy here. So we're going to get some critical strike chance, and we'll see how that works. Later in the future, once I get my runes, I'll switch that for what I want. But right now, this guy is pretty much ready, and I was already doing Torment, and I was waiting for you guys, because on this plan, Okay, you can see the first one was to defeat a lair boss, which I did, but the last one is an escalation dungeon, and at the end of escalation dungeon there is a very, very hard boss. Okay, so I don't know what's going to happen. You know, of course, you know, we plan for the worst and hope for the best, and that's what we're going to do. Now, I cannot teleport from here because I need to have a sigil to activate an escalation, which I do have. Okay, so I have here Calibel's Mine, and let's activate this guy. And if you don't know how to actually do that, is on the cube. You pick up just 5 regular nightmare dungeons, and you go into the cube and transform that into an escalation sigil. Man, look at Doom is cool, man. What the hell, man? Doom actually is shooting. I am shooting people with Doom. Look at that. Man, I'm enjoying Doom. They all hexed, meaning they taking a huge amount of damage. And that was the Dark Prison kicking in. Now, as soon as I cast an ultimate, I also... Man... Dude, these guys are so done. Oh man, I'm loving Doom, but look at my life, you know. I lost some life in the process. I don't know, but fortification is, you know, it's granting me more heal over time. So here we go, guys. We are on Torment 1, doing escalation. Now let's see our critical going. Oh, look at that damage. 200, 209. And we are just starting with this dude. 90k, 158k. Ooh, that was all the way 393, and that was not even critical. So how do I know that is critical? Regular damage is white, critical damage is yellow. So that's how it works on my settings. You can actually tinker that with options. I'm invulnerable now, okay? So folks, you can never ever actually let your guard down. So Doom has a range, so I'm invulnerable again. So Doom have a range, and Hellion Sting was way more. But the damage, it is on 492k, 382k, and that is not even critical. Imagine when we get some critical multipliers. And of course I can just go and keep on clawing, but you know, it is resource management as well. What I also would like to have better is, you know, more barrier. I don't see my barrier kicking in so often, so I may want to work on that. So problem here is not the damage. I am doing really okay. The barrier now kicked in because I damaged an elite. But I am doing some serious damage. Damage is not really the problem. And Doom is becoming really nice. Better than Hellion Stinger. Because all my skills will do more damage to Doom. I like that. See all of those pools that you saw on the ground? This is a shadow. Okay, this is a trap. Will do shadow damage. If you stay in there, you take shadow damage if you don't have mitigation. So, not good at all. This is part of we just got another Paragon level. We'll talk about the Paragon table once I am done on this dungeon. Because the Paragon is also very important. That's what is going to take your character to the next level. Okay, so we reach the boss on this level. Level 1 and 2, it's not really a concern. I think we can deal with this boss without any major issues. As a matter of fact, he got one-shotted. Yeah. Guys, it is not about how much damage you do, is how much you can take into Torment. That makes all the difference. But we got a lair key as well. So, okay, and by the end of the escalation, we go into the portal for the next one, and this one is gold reserve, meaning we're going to get a lot of gold and some shadow enchanted elites out there. So let's go. And we have one more Paragon. AI viewers stream both. You're just going to get yourself banned. And you shouldn't be spamming, and go do your bot in some other place. You know, I don't know why people do this, but you know, that may be because some people actually go into that trap and buy viewers. Yeah, oh man, that was like 5 million of gold. Yeah. So damage is important, but how much can you take here is way more important than how much can you do in damage. And sometimes I even forget that I have that big truck, you know, the demon, like this. And also, he also weakens. And he doesn't cost much, you know. He is so cheap. Oh, nice. We got a set out there. This guy is a blast to play. Didn't even have to go into shadow form. And it's just like, but let's go into shadow form just for the fun of it. And now I want to go back and pick up a chest that I left over here. Look at that. There is a chest here that I forgot. So you would not imagine that, you know, that little Warlock would actually do Torment like this and pretty much dominate this field, right? So, okay, look at my barrier, beautiful. But, you know, you have to understand the basic concepts, and you need to understand what is the purpose of what you're doing, how do you progress, you know, what is the next step, you know, how do I go from Torment 1 to Torment 2 or 3, right? How do I progress? How many runs do I have to do on Torment 1 until I can go into Torment 3? I'll discuss that once we finish this run. If I survive, of course, you know. This is always... this is the beauty of playing hardcore. That is always. So death is always lingering on the side. Always. That is always that, you know, chill on the belly that says, okay, all right, you're going to ambush me, man. I already was doing a ton of damage. Imagine after we hex. Oh, here comes the butcher. Here comes the butcher. And he is no slouch. But we just stood right there, and you know, he was not even scratching the surface. Yeah, my friend, you know, this is just incredible. We stood face to face with the butcher, and he did not even put a dent on us at torment level. So I'm feeling more confident now. So, okay, I am not really interested in anything. Maybe a totem. So this is kind of a okay. I want the shadow damage. I don't want the lucky hit chance, so I'm going to mark this for future. Let me check this guy. I don't do damage over time, so this guy is no good.
Yeah, step up to my anvil.
So let's skip those guys and let's see what we have. Abaddon's Flesh. +3 to occult skills. I like that. We have one that says +2 to Hellfire. We have no Hellfire. We're going to drop that set to 2 pieces, but I'm going to have +3 here. And let's see, man, Wild Demon Form, look at that. That looks all about Demon Form. I like it. I like it. So let's use this for now. Let's see what we can take out. So this is a basic skill. This is a basic skill. This is one. Where is the one that says the Hellfire skill? Okay, that sounds good to me. Now we have +3 to occult skills, which is a lot. We should have a lot of +3, and you bet our stuff is occult. And we're working on the Paragon board. This is our second Paragon board already. I need to go over here to this legendary node. Once I do that, I'm going to walk all the way to this rare node for the critical strike and maximum life, and that's pretty much going to do this board, and then we're going to progress to the next one. On the first one, I'm waiting for the glyph socket. I did not have it at that point in time. I still don't have it. Yeah, I don't have the Untamed. So that's what I'm looking for. And I'm not going to put any other in right now because each one of them will require a different set of attributes in order to enable this whole nodes here. So I'll wait. I'm not in a hurry. So let's go back to our level. And I want to showcase the other guys as well. So let's see what I got here. I got this chest armor. Yeah, right now the barrier, you know, it's even worse from 70%. You know, I have a 90% barrier almost at the top. So I'm good with that. Let's keep on going. Oh, another chest here. More gold. Remember, this level is all about gold. And dooming and hexing people, man, I am enjoying this. Oh, there is a goblin out there. Look at that, 2 goblins. Oh, we're going to get those goblins. You bet I want to get those goblins. We're going to drop a couple of rampage dudes on top of them. I will come back for the chest. And here they are trying to hide here. We just drop a bomb on top of those guys. Yes, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so now that we killed those goblins, we can go and work out the rest of this thing. Doom actually spreads all the way to everybody else. Man. Where is my chest? There it is. Lots of gold. Man, oh man. This is insane. I can tell you guys, you know, the Spiritborn is not even close to this guy. And he is good, don't get me wrong. But it is not even close to this gentleman here. If he is a gentleman, I don't know. Oh, now I am shooting arrows. Let's kill people. Maybe it is hexed arrows. So we'll come back for the chest. I like the gunslinging thing. Okay, we are done with the fun. Okay, so now we're going to go back for the chests. There is a lot of chests here. Okay, there is one right here. All of them really good in gold. The thing that I don't like is that if you're not close to the chest, you're not going to see it. And this is where we actually go to end this. But we will go up and pick up the chests that we left behind first. Now I think we killed everybody in here. And if you miss a check, okay, so this is where we need to go. So I may need to go back and check, you know, what is that?
The hairs on the back.
Okay, I don't want to read your journal. I want to know what is behind that door. Okay, so we have no more chests left. Time to go check the door. See what is... Okay, there is one chest here. It is just gold, folks, so if you miss a chest, you know, you shouldn't be stressed. What do we have here? Okay. Have a what? A release lever. Okay, that is the door. Okay, so I think we cleared the whole level. So let's go check that door and find out what is behind it. Okay, we got primordial dust, which is awesome. We need all these materials, guys. You know, all of these runs that we do are really important. Did you see that I took some damage out there? You know, you can never let your guard down. So now I got my glyph. That's the glyph that I was missing. So I can actually go over here on the board and put it, even if it's a little... Where is my unbound? Okay, there you go. So I need, you know, 10 more intelligence, 15 more intelligence in here, and that is, you know, what I was missing. So the next step is going to go back and add some intelligence here. If I haven't, okay, I got one in here. That's going to be +7 because it benefits from the glyph. This one is outside. It's not going to help. So I'll work on the board later on. But, you know, you gotta be careful. I took some serious damage there. If I have not invested in life, you know, this poor Cabra Negra will be history. He'll be dead. So can never facilitate. I'm starting to become, you know, not so confident anymore. I would love to have way more resistance, way more life, way more mitigation as well. So let's go talk to the boss. So you see Astaroth out there? He is going to be our main problem. He is not going to be as easy as these dudes. His mechanics are, once he gets all the way to 5% of life, he spawned a little tiny Astaroth, and he do a lot of damage out there. Nice. Oh, we are full here. Look at that. We are full of stuff, which is good because we got a lot of new aspects that we shadow damage have 15%. Oh, fear and immobilize for once. That's a lucky hit, but I like it. Wow. And this is chest armor. We already have a good chest armor. What I'm looking for, it's good gloves. We need the good gloves. Anyway, so let's go and deconstruct all of this. Let's check to see if we have a good pair of gloves that I can use. Okay, these are gloves. Damage and damage. I need life. Okay, I can add life. Damage, vulnerable damage. We do a lot of physical resistance. It's not bad. 50 damage over time. I don't do damage over time. However, this guy is awesome for my Spiritborn. Spiritborn does a lot of damage over time, so I'm going to save this for my Spiritborn. Now this other one I can work with. This 12% damage, all damage, doesn't matter. I like to be specific, and also it is vulnerable. I don't do vulnerable, so I'm going to save this as well for my Spiritborn and see if it needs that. Besides that, folks, I think we are good here. Maybe a totem. Let me see if do we have a totem. No, this is chest. This is another glove. Maximum life, critical strike chance, critical strike damage, cooldown reduction. This is a winner. Okay, I can work with this guy. Of course, if he had the great affix, that would be even better. But at this level, this is all we can do, right? We need to start going through the bases and check and say, do I have something that is going to be better than what I have already? These gloves are not bad. They have a lot of life, a lot of willpower. But, it's always good to keep an eye on the new things. So, and we got a new charm here though. This is an old one. I'm going to save this guy. And let's go inspect the other one. Resistance, gold drop, stats, no skills. This all go over here. Okay, any other things? We have some consumables, boss layer and boss trophy. We can transmute this thing, and it's very easy. You put it over here and say amalgamation. Doesn't require anything. Okay, just 5 of the same items, and we're going to get a unique ring, blazing screen +2 to sigil of subversion, I'm not using sigil. Once we have more of those guys, we can actually do other things, right? Now, now it is also new, this upgrade to Mythic, but you need 5 Pandemonium fragments, which you collect in later on, once you can either complete some of the quests on the season. I think one of them will grant you some mythic stuff. Okay, the next one also grants some Pandemonium things. I guess you know. Okay, or you can do. Where did I see that? Okay, I think I saw this some other place. You can get some of those Pandemoniums fragments at some other place. I totally forgot where it was. But you can also forge mythics here. Okay, you're going to need resources for that. But you know, deconstruct enough mythics, you should have. Hey yo, Black Scorpion, man, that's okay, dude. You know, so man, this, you remember this this guy here, right? The Warlock, man. I'm doing Torment content right now. This guy is doing quite well, but we are up for a challenge. Okay, because we have a very tough boss that we'll need to tackle next. This is the next dungeon. We've been doing an escalation. Our war plan right now calls for an escalation dungeon, and this next dungeon is the third of 4 dungeons. The last one is a serious boss, and it is going to be a challenge, especially because we don't kill, we die, and this is going to be the end of this character. So we definitely need to be on top of the game. So the next dungeon have some ruptures, meaning the new rupture mechanics. They're going to spawn inside this next dungeon. Hey, I heard it, but it did it say anything? Because I just heard the sound of the TTS being played. I did not hear the whole voice, so I thought I'd fix it, but looks like I did not. So I have work to do still. Shame. Anyway, let's go to the next dungeon. And I really hope everything goes okay, man, because we've been putting so much work into this Warlock.
I don't like this place.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, let's see. And of course, escalation is going to get... that's why it's escalation. Every dungeon, you know, the monsters level get increasing. So, although it says Torment 1 here, the monster level, it is a little bit different than when we started on the first one. So I'm going to approach this really, really slow. You know, with some careful, because now I'm not killing people with the same speed that I was on the first dungeon. These guys are taking damage. You can see they are taking damage and they are not dying on the first. I'm not one-shotting them. So the boss is going to be easily hard. And I am really afraid to go check on the board. Oh man. Okay. Promise. During this weekend I will fix that. I don't know why. Streamlabs, it's, you know, I hear the sound, but I did not hear any text. Okay, so we need to add animals over here. $600k of damage on the crit. That is pretty much nothing. We should be doing millions, not 600k. But that is okay. As long as I can survive, I can deal with the damage. Alright, so let's open up this chest. It is all about money in this chest. Now this is good because now I control when I have critical or not. You know, every time I cast an ultimate, I gain a lot of critical strike chance. And I'm liking this Doom better and better. Look at how much this guy sustained. They did not die. Okay, now this is the new mechanic. And this is very, very intense. Because this guy is spawned like crazy. This reminds me of Infernal Hordes. And we close these ruptures, then we got to go into okay, so let it close. Let it close. And then we have a big dude that pops out of that, but we need all of these materials. All right. So far so good. We survived this. It is intense. Okay, we have one little piece here. We cannot leave any of those animals. If we do, the urn doesn't fill and we get stuck. That guy took 500,000 damage on the head and did not die on the first. If I was not playing vulnerable or anything like this, I'll probably not been able to kill these guys. Which makes me think if I'm going to be able to kill this last boss because he is tough. Oh well. If we die, we die. Of course, I don't want to die, but if we do, it is. See, every hardcore character knows that in the end, he will die. We don't plan, but it is the fate. We have another tier on the other side. Man, I don't like that tier. And look at that, there was some lag. glorious pants. That's some interesting loot. I am going to mark this guy with just that would be sigil. You know, if it was my sigil, that would be usable, but that is. Okay, so that is the entrance to the... So we need to close raptures before we actually progress out there. Let's go close raptures. Okay, so let's close this rapture. So we need 8 more. And we need all of these little things here. So we still need 7 more. We got another set charm. Okay, do we have another one out there? Ooh, big boss. Ooh. Gotta be careful, man. Okay, before I kill those guys, I want to clear up the surrounding here. We got a couple of them back to back. Ooh. Oh, let's attract these guys over here. Okay, this one expanded, so need to go into the gears. Okay, so we got 11. Well, nasty. Okay, we close another one. All right. Okie dokie, we got one more rapture and then we can go into the death row chamber. Okay, so this is it. We can let this thing close. Just to stay outside. Let it close. We don't need anything. Once it collapses, so this is the new mechanics. Now, once that tier collapses and we actually close 15 of those little tiers, then we can go into the chamber and deal with the disciple or disciple by himself. So now we'll roll this thing to the max. And that is it. Okay, so by doing this, we gain some prestiges, or some eligibility towards the board. I missed the term at the moment, but then we're going back to where we started. So that portal is now closed, and we can move on with our regular This guy is mad, man. Okay. Now, between the paladin with the hammer, all of that, being sacred and all of that stuff, and this guy, I don't know, man. I think this guy just dominates. He pretty much dominates. He is also so much easier to play than the paladin, and also we are back full again. So let's go and drop all of this stuff because we need the materials. So if you're curious, why do we collect everything? Because we go deconstruct, and that's what generates material for crafting. So everything that we do here, end up being 75 or one type, 42 and 55 of the materials that we salvage, and then we can use to either temper or masterwork some of our equipment, which we will be doing very soon. So
locked.
Oh, I need to find the security key? Really? I think oh, there is one dude here. Oh, come on. I left one guy behind. And one chest. Okay, now we have the maximum security key. Or we have the key to maximum security, whatever that is. After we finish this, then there is the moment of truth, which is the big boss. And boy, that guy is scary, I fear him. So these guys, they are not even close to that. Astaroth is going to be a challenge. And I hope, I can stand up to the challenge. So big boss, one of those top boxes. And dudes, this is where our fate is going to end up being. So we're going to pick up this which is very welcome. Now we need to actually see if we can. Each hex stack increases a base skill, and we already have this glyph socket enabled, but we need this guy here. Oh, did I pick up the wrong thing? Yep, I pick up. Okay, I have the demonic spickles, but what I wanted was to pick up this dude here. What is the other one? No, I picked up the correct one. Now we need to move towards this. But I need to work on this guy. So this untamed node here. This guy. Okay, we already have, okay, this is destruction. Where is my untamed? Over here. So I need 15 more intelligence within this node. And the node goes from here to here. So willpower, this is strength, this is intelligence. I can add this one. So now I need 10 more. This is intelligence. I need 5 more intelligence. Now, where am I going to find 5 more intelligence? Because I only see willpower here, and this is damage to elites. I don't have any more intelligence. So you would think, oh man, this is impossible. No, we need to actually get this glyph to the next level, and his radius is going to expand to 4. So meaning this will go here, and then we should be able to pick up this node here. And that will activate this additional bonus that after spending 50 ref, I'll deal 10 times multiplicative increased damage and gain 25 increased ref generation for 6 seconds. For 3 seconds every time I spending 50 ref, which is easy. So we'll need to work on this glyph and get the glyph up. But right now, there is a chest that we need to open. And we got an agitator, and my friends, we either do or die. Astaroth is no joke. For security reasons, of course. Yeah, you see, this is not just escalation, but this is a lair boss. So he is no joke. You know, I would love to go back and degrade this to normal, but at normal we can't do it. So once he gets to this level, there is this little Astaroth here that we need to kill. And we've done it. We killed the boss. All right. Man, I was really scared. But you know, you never know how good your guy is until you prove it. So now we need to go back, and there is an ancestral ring here. Although it is blue, it is ancestral. So let's see if there is any temper. There is temper. And we can pick up that ancestral ring just in case. And now we're going to teleport to Tennis. Oh, so he is not bad. So he can do torment level. And look at that, we get good gear. Oh, we get even a greater affix here. Look at that. So this is okay. It's 151 willpower is the maximum that will go. So that's why it has that little white star. It's called a greater affix. So we get pretty much the best affix and willpower that we get, but these guys are really good. We got another one in here. This is trash, lucky hit chance. It's ancestral, but I don't care. This, we can make it a unique because it is totally, just like ancestral. You bring it over here, you put this guy here, and you say upgrade to unique. Let's see if we have materials. We don't, so I'm missing component, but this guy's, he can go straight to a mythic unique, not a mythic, an ancestral unique. So we got pretty good loot, like Binds of Attrition, casting Dark Prison, okay, consume a maximum life to reset its cooldown. I gain damage reduction. Well, okay, here's the good thing. I don't cast Dark Prison. So whenever I cast Dark Prison, it consumes 48% of my maximum life. But this is done automatically through the runes. It is an invocation, I think. It is not, I need to test that. But my runes here, so it invoke. So look at the text. It says invoke, not cast, the Dark Prison. And the thing here say casting Dark Prison consumes 48% of my maximum life. But I gain 26% damage reduction while Dark Prison is active. So this is actually quite good, meaning I'm going to gain 26% every time Dark Prison is active, but I'm not losing anything because I'm not casting, I'm invoking. So sounds good to me, that is a pretty good unique here for me, just because of that situation. And you can see he has only 89 willpower. This guy here has 151, which is, at this level, it is the greater affix. This is how high this thing will go. So I got a decent life, but not that much. A lot of armor. I would rather have that much life instead of armor, but it's okay. Shadow resistance. This is just like meh, okay? But let's salvage some of this.
Oh, it is a waitress, isn't it?
So I'm going to get rid of this. This. Okay, so that ring, it's ancestral, but I don't care anymore. This guy is good. I can make him a unique, but I don't care. This guy, I can work with it. I can add the stuff, and this has a pretty good new what I was talking about here. He has a new, not affix, he has a new aspect. So besides that, I don't need another chest at the moment. I have a pretty good one. It has a lot of armor, but that's okay. I am going to get rid of this guy. And that should make space for me to collect all of these other things. Okay, I still have some stuff out there, but I really don't care too much about the blue things. So, folks, we are in the middle. So now you saw how good this Warlock is. I mean, he is no joke, man. We were just level 70 in the past episode. I just crafted a little bit. This is still junk, okay? This is not a lot of uniques. This is not mythical. This is nothing. So regarding the steps, again, first you need to get to level 70. Second, that where the farm starts to come, and your character gets better and better. He will progress on the Paragon board. You're going to start tailor him. He's going to be able to sustain damage, go into the torment level. Again, you do not need to go and say, oh, I need to be at torment 6 in order. No, you don't. You don't. Okay? So as soon as you get to torment, legendary, unique, and mythic items are able, and ancestral quality is available. Meaning, ancestral is available at Torment 1 all the way to Torment 12. You do not need to be at Torment level 35 to have ancestral. As long as you're in a Torment, you have a chance to have legendary, unique, mythics, and ancestral mythics all the same. Okay? It is higher chance to get into Torment 2 and Torment 3. Every time you increase a level, you're gaining more experience, you're gaining more gold, but you're taking more damage, and your character needs to be pretty tough in order to sustain the damage. If it's hardcore, kaput, no mas. So the only thing that you get, okay, you have an increased chance items to be ancestral. Okay, every time you go up, your chances increase. But you can see I got a bunch of ancestral items here, either with greater availability. I'm still on Torment 1. Can I get mythic ancestral on Torment 1? Yes, you can. Okay, you don't need to be Torment 12 in order to better chance. The higher you go, the better your chance, the better your character is, meaning you're progressive, but you do not have to. That's how you farm. I'm going to stay here in Torment 1 until I get some of the items and some of the aspects that I want. Then I'm going to increase my gear and make it through. Then I'm going to do Torment 2 and Torment 3, where my set items are going to be better. Once I get my set going with everything, then I can go and progress for Torment 2, 3, and 4, and so forth. But again, this is hardcore. Normal guys, you don't care about it. It's all about damage, 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 because if you die, you rinse and repeat. All you have to do is just go to the blacksmith, repair your stuff, and off you go. And you have a chance to check and test. Okay, I'm good enough. No, I'm not good enough. I twink here, I twink there, but you live. Hardcore, you don't. Okay, that's why hardcore is a little bit different than regular. We sacrifice damage, although I am doing some serious damage, but you sacrifice damage for survivability. It's all about surviving, 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 and still being able to do the content. So folks, you already have a pretty good, decent look into this Warlock. The Warlock basic mechanics, I already pointed out for you. This guy is all about shadow damage. Every single thing in here, with the exception, we need to take points out of here. Now that I'm really loving Doom, I am going to take all these points from here and keep everything here is shadow damage. If you don't know what kind of damage it is, scroll to the bottom, it's going to say shadow damage, or it's going to say physical damage, or whatever kind of damage it is. If you go Hellfire, it's going to say fire damage. So everything is a little different. However, this guy does everything through shadow damage. Every skill here is shadow damage, and we are abusing two things. We are abusing shadow damage, and we are abusing abyss. Okay, so if you go all the way to the top, you're going to see that the skill has an abyss tag, meaning this is an abyss kind of attack of a skill. Now, it is an Archfiend skill, and it should have an Archfiend tag all the way in green out there. It is also Demonology. It is a summon skill. It's a greater demon, but most important, it is an Abyss skill. And every single one in here is an Abyss skill. Abyss and Shadow. This is Abyss and Shadow. Everything is Abyss. And of course, you know that because all of this stuff on the bottom, if we get out of here, it's going to be in that purple color. If you have a Hellfire demon, then all of that stuff should be kind of a orange kind of a color. So this is how we are building this guy to abuse some of the mechanics of the game. You know, it takes advantage of vulnerable, it does a lot of damage to vulnerable, Doom applies hacks, and you know, all of the Abyss skills do 20% more damage once the enemy is hexed. So it is a ton of abuse, and of course there is the survivability. Every single piece of gear here, if you pay attention, have maximum life. We have maximum life in every single piece of gear, that even on the weapon. Okay, it's about the damage, yes, but it's also about surviving. You do 0 damage once you're dead. So with that, guys, you already know how the Warlock works, and I promise that you will make a comparison between other archetypes. So next we're going to get my Spiritborn. So I am going to stop this guy here. And now we're going to take a look at the Spiritborn. So the Spiritborn is also a hardcore. So the 3 characters that I want to showcase, they're all hardcore. So it's the same principle: survive, 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 survive. Then we think about the mechanics of how we're going to get from where we are all the way to Torment 1. Okay, so Vitamina is not doing anything on Torment 1 because, you know, I did not improve her. So I was in the process of building gear. But I want to show you how she is actually built, because, you know, although she is in the normal piece, she can do some serious damage. And I am actually building her right now. You know, I still have gear that are level 500. So if you take a look at all this gear, you're going to see like 439, 400. This is trash gear. This is by no means a Torment level character. So I even have points in Paragon that I need to 40 points because, you know, my other character just started and I don't even have another board. So this guy here is, you know, was left behind, and now I need to progress him. But I want to showcase how he actually works. So he's going on a Helltide. Even normal Helltide can be pretty intense. So let's go and see how this thing works, because it is a total different mechanic from the Warlord. The Warlock was doing shadow damage, and, you know, he was all about critting. Now this guy, you know, he does 0 crits. 0. I mean, he does not crit at all. Why is that? So if I go take a look at my critical strike, I do have the basic 50%, and I have a 12.7 critical strike chance that really it needs to be 0, because this guy, it's all about damage over time, and damage over time does not crit at all. You either have damage over time or you do have critical damage. You can't have both. Okay, so this guy is built pretty much based on poison. Everything he does, it takes poison. So you're going to see here, Withering Fist applies, poison. This guy here is green, applies poison. Let me go all the way to the bottom. This guy here applies poison. It's toxic skin for a reason. This is a Scourge. It applies poison. Okay, so this is also poison, although I don't have anything in here. But my main skill here is it's poison, poison, poison with a centipede and some lightning associated with that. So pretty much some elemental damage, and it does a lot of poison. So let's see how long. Okay, ends in 1 minute. Okay, that's even better because okay, I think we are getting out of Health Tide, which is fine. Let's go pick up some strongholds. I think there are some strongholds that I have not conquered, like over here, Malnock. Let's go and get this stronghold, just to see how this character plays, right? And then the next time I can improve her a little bit, and then we'll see how that works in a torment level, because she will do torment. So basically, we got this thing here that throw this sting, and it does poison, do damage over time through poison, right there. Okay, so you see the cloud of poison. Okay, that's how it works. And then on top of that, we have this other thing here that does also poison damage. And then of course we have our Scourge and cloud of little faster things that does damage too. More damage. This toxin skin leaves a trail of damage and of poison, and that thing is brutal, man. It does so much damage. I'll show you. Look at that. These are all dead guys. Look at that. Okay, so this is how this thing works. Just doing damage. How much I killed in here just by not even hitting them. Just poison. That's how this guy works. It's poison, 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 poison. He touches, it dies. It dies soon or die later. It doesn't matter. So if I go away, all guys will die with damage over time. It is really a beautiful mechanic, but this game is very inventive in terms of.
Wind's blown too cutting, even for these parts.
I think this is the vampire. And he moves from place to place pretty much without me doing anything. He's very, very, very mobile.
These goatmen spread nothing but death.
And unfortunately, I need a mobility skill. Other than that, he gets crowd controlled, which is pretty bad. So let's see this guy. You see his life? Look at that. Didn't do anything. Hit him once, and he is gone. Okay, simple as that. It is fantastic. Yeah, that's okay, man. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. Ooh, man. Well, your grandma needs your attention, man. Go for it, and I appreciate it. See you next time. So we got also this feather mechanics. So this is pretty much how the Spiritborn works. Poison, 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 poison.
Must end the ritual.
And everybody dies. Everybody dies. And now we have the centipede, this is poison, more poison, more poison, more poison. So it is an incredible mechanic. You can abuse it a lot. And that is the only drawback that I have not figured out, which is how do I fix the crowd control, right? I need him to be able to get out of the crowd frozen state, immobilized, or whatever that is. So those little feathers that comes from the sky, it's part of one of those aspects, and it causes damage when it falls, but also it does increase my speed. So every time I collect those, my movement increases. So it is a two ways of doing good stuff. Yeah. Pretty powerful, really, folks. Of course, there is the survivability aspect of it as well. It does have a lot of barrier. So this guy, it is not about
we always knew
just causing damage. He does have some protection. He has a barrier every time he hits his stuff. Where is the dude? He's all the way on the top. Okay, we need to go and all the way up. Okay, so that is the only drawback. I need to figure out a way of getting him out of crowd control. Yeah, so besides that, everything dies to the poison. Poison is very, very, very efficient here. Everything will die to the poison. Now let's see if I can kill that dude and get rid of this boss.
It is done.
So pretty much this is the Spiritborn. So we do have a little bit more time, So now you saw two types. Let me go and finish this stronghold. And now we need to go on to the Hell Tide. Okay, do I have... I don't have any... well, we are in the middle of the tide. That's even better. Why is this? Oh, the cache. Okay, I can do this other quest while I'm in the Hell Tide. So let's see on the Hell Tide how we do.
What is this?
Yeah, this thing can be insanely powerful as well. It's just like... However, you know, for leveling, it is not really, you know, that fun. It takes a while. It takes a while to level this guy. You know, he until he reaches a certain point, he is not really, you know, that efficient. But once he reached this level, you know, level 70, he is pretty good. And he can get insane levels of destruction. So 52. I need 75. So that thing on the ground is the concussive stone. Yeah, it's really impressive, guys. You know, I just this guy is really good. So that is another thing for you if you did not think that the Spiritborn can be good. You're wrong. Spiritborns are amazing. Very mobile, very agile. He can do a lot of damage. Okay, so I don't want to go in here. Why did I do that? I want to just go collect my chest. Okay, so we are done here. And that's it, folks. You know, oh, okay, get out of here. Look at that. So next, it's a third way of doing things. So you already saw the Warlock, how good the Warlock is. This guy, he is freaking good. He is going to be awesome. I'm going to work on him during the weekend. And he'll be doing Torment very, very soon, later on, once I get the gear. But now let's go to a third way of doing things, folks. You know, if you don't like the poison, if you didn't enjoy all the way to level 70, so the Spiritborn, once the Spiritborn get to this point, he is going to be very strong. However, to get all the way there, it's a little bit more complicated. Up to level 35, I would say it is a struggle. So you need to pack all life and forget about damage and hit multiple times until you can get past level 35, 40. Then he will start kicking in. Besides that, it is just a struggle, and if he dies, he dies. You need to start over. Now this guy here, you can see the werewolves out there, and he's a druid, okay? And he is also lots of fun. Oh, got an extra point here. So let's put points here. This guy is pretty much an elemental guy. The other one was poison. This guy doesn't do any poison. The other one was damage over time. This guy is elemental, but he's all about critical. Okay, why is that? Because he all like about storms. So don't have a plan. So let's switch and find a plan. We'll clean the pit. Then we're going for a nightmare dungeon or a pit. We're going for a nightmare dungeon here because this is good. And then we're going to purge the other city. And I like this horrific reagents because we all need that. So we have like 40 minutes and we're going to work with this guy because he is also at horrible gear. Look at that, 505, 400, 200. So this guy is far, far, far away from having good gear. And his Paragon board we need to work on him just because I did not have the points and now we have 40 points. So let's go take a look at this node. It's resolve. It's going to get 4% more life and resistance, and I need that. Resistance to all elements, but this is just 1.5. Let's see what we can do on the other nodes, because we still need to go all the way to the glyph and towards this guys here. We have 3 more gold. Lucky hit chance, I don't need it. Vulnerable, yes, this guy does a lot of vulnerable. So the idea here is that where do we go from here? We can go this way or we can go this way. This is the way to go because I can branch 3 ways. So we'll go that way, and it is all about this guy. His main stat is willpower, isn't it? So I don't know. So how do we know? Let's go and check our stats, okay? So we can see that the max that we have is willpower. What that means is that willpower here is the stat for this druid. So when we work on the Paragon board, we will want to get all the willpower that we can. So of course there will be other things like intelligence and dexterity, but willpower is what the nodes that we need to pick. So in here I picked up 2 to get to this branch. If I went this way, I'll have strength, dexterity. I don't have a lot of willpower here, so we'll have to sacrifice stuff all the way to get to vulnerable damage, or the way to get over here companion damage. I need that, and of course we'll need to branch over here. So we'll go this way, and let me check. This is willpower, so we'll need to branch up, and now we can get companion damage. We get companion damage. We get dex. I don't need dex. We get companion damage. We get dex. We don't need that. And now we can start branching back over here. I have 2 intelligence, I have strength, there is no other way. So let's see. Okay, this is willpower, but then we don't have that much, so I'll go this way. So now we need to select the glyph, right? So good thing is that I have almost all of them, and let me check which one I have. I need to go to my notes. Give me 1 second here. I need to bring my OneNote. And I said that I would do Keeper. So let me see, where is my Keeper? Keeper, I don't have Keeper, that's why. Okay, so I need to acquire Keeper, and as I progress, I will get it. So right now we're going to have to bail out of here. Since I don't have that, I don't need to go in that direction yet. I'll go up here and I'll get Ferocity. So companion cooldown, total armor over here, armor, and companion cooldown reduction. I'm going to leave this armor nodes not picked at the moment. I have 8 more nodes to do. So, and I still need to make a decision if I go to the left, to the top, or to the right. So right now it appears that the way to go is over here, which is less nodes. So we'll need to branch eventually one of these ways, to the right or to the left. So we'll need to pick a total armor or go from here, willpower, and then go up. But right now, important is to branch over here if I want that. Do I want the vulnerable damage? I don't know. So it's lucky hit chance, vulnerable. I want these nodes over here. But I don't want to spend all the nodes. So I may want to just ignore that for now. Later on I can come and fill this board just because I want some more vulnerable damage. Yeah, right now I'm going to do this. Willpower, and I get vulnerable damage. So the bonus, if I want to get the bonus, I need to have 1,155 willpower and 206 dexterity over to the board. Right now you can see I'm way far from that. Willpower is just 449, and to get this, my board will have to have like 1,155. So just later on I am going to get bonus to the lucky chance, but not now. Right now I can pick up the vulnerable damage because that's what important. And right now I spend all of my 40 points in here, and later on I'll go towards this once I get my glyph. So next is the plan. So we need to cleanse the pit. We are on penitent level because I turned in, so let's make sure that we go back to normal. And now we can go and clear the pit. The pit, you don't have to go over here. If it says, for example, Torment 1, which is probably going to be the default, don't go. Most likely you will die. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you go back to normal. You just want to finish the war plan. On a hardcore, you do not push it, guys. Do that until you feel pretty comfortable they can sustain the damage that the foes will do to you. you will die. And once you're dead, you're dead. That's not how hardcore works. Hardcore is all about patience, life, a lot of mitigation, a lot of armor, a lot of, elemental resistance. That is what it's all about. So let's showcase how this guy is different than the other guys, right? Because he is elemental, but he will do a lot of lightning. Look at that. Now these things started to appear here. So you can see how different this guy plays from the other guy. The other guy was just like very agile. He moves from target to target, and this guy is very static. He will stay pretty much on the ground and just cast the storm after storm after storm after storm. So another interesting thing here, so you can see how much weaken, it was doing if vulnerable and the whole thing. The main damage for these guys are these 3 werewolves. The werewolves is going to pretty much do all the damage that this guy does. He's just supporting the wolves. So totally different way of doing the game. Where you let your wolves do the damage, pretty much like your necromancer. So we got the little wolves here that also span. Hey, I'm a grateful man on the damn stream straight. All right, yay! I've been missing you guys because of the World Cup, but I will be watching the videos later on. But I know it is not the same thing, but it is just until the World Cup finished. Man, I'm a sucker for football. So that is this guy, he'll do damage through elemental, get his ultimate, and clear everything in between. Look at that. It is just like wipe house. This guy is fun to play, guys, because what is interesting about him, it is that he is very fun to level. Okay, so now the cherry on the top, really the one skill that pretty much glue all of this together is this triangle thing here, which is rabies. So rabies will kill anything with poison. He bites, that thing dies. It's simple like that. Okay? I bite, you die. Look at that. So this thing is a blast to play, really, and once he gets into what he needs to be with the appropriate gear, he's going to walk over very easily into the torment pits and every single else. You know, it is just like he's going to dominate, pretty much like the Warlock. However, it is a total different way of doing damage. You can see, you know, while the Warlock is all about shadow, this guy is all about, you know, those elemental storms and a lot of poison too. You know, so I can kill anything with poison. Okay, are we done with this thing? Probably not, but... So we need to finish this bit, you know, and me stop talking. But...
Quite the challenge.
I want to get to the boss, because you're going to see how much damage this guy does to the boss. And the interesting thing about this ultimate is that the ultimate I can really get, you know, cool off on this ultimate and pretty much cast it one after another. It is just a matter of the appropriate gear, and then, you know, the sustainability, it is just going to be intense. And then he wipes out the whole thing. Simple like that. Look at this AoE, guys, you know. Here comes the boss. Here comes the boss. I am not going to do anything to the boss. Okay, here is the boss. I'm going to bite him. Look at that. Isn't that insane or what? Right? Simple, 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 and lots and lots and lots and lots of fun to play. That is another style of playing. You know, let's work on our glyph. We're still missing the glyph, but we are acquiring one by one. That is another problem that I see here on the glyphs. You know, on the lower levels, you start up at 70, but once you get like 16% of chance. But 70 doesn't mean that, you know, this is guaranteed. Fails very often. So I am going to try to push this headhunter up. So one more. Okay, so it failed, but I got a level. But this is what it is with this Druid. Now, if you want to see the whole Druid, I had one that died because of this bug. You didn't see like a white dome on top of that node. That's how it used to be. And there is a video on my YouTube channel of the other Druid. It's a hardcore Druid. It was doing Torment. And he died very stupidly. I cleared the whole pit in Torment level. And at the end there were some red puddles. But there was no dome. And I didn't realize. In the past, the dome is a protection. You couldn't get hurt within the dome once the pit was cleared. But looks like the developers, Blizzard developers, decided to take that dome away. You saw no dome, no protection, and I just stepped into that puddle and my poor Druid died instantly. And of course it was a hardcore Druid, and that was very frustrating. But now you see how the Druid actually works. I'm going to start working with this gear. Now, every run that I do, gear 850, I can work with that. I can, tailor them to what I need. Every single one of them, it's going to have a lot of life, so I can go into the pit. And now the Tree of Whispers have, I don't want corrupted root. Yes, I want the ambush. So what else do we have here? A nightmare dungeon. I think we still have time to do a nightmare dungeon. At this point, we can even do an escalation. I don't think I do have enough sigil. I can have okay, look at this. I have a mythic here, okay? Meaning I can actually give that as a tribute, meaning that I'm going to supposed to have a mythic as a reward. However, this only works at torment level, okay? If you don't do it torment level, there is no chance for mythic to drop. So you'll be wasting this thing. Oh, okay, it says in there, only usable in torment difficulty. So once you get to torment 1, it does not need to be, torment 12 or anything like this. Once you get to torment, any torment level, mythics have a chance to drop, okay? Now, if you offer this, okay, every time you complete a tournament, if you complete with a tournament rank 1 or higher, you have a chance, okay, and increase your chance of mythic unique. It's not a guarantee, guys, okay? This is, don't think that you're going to get a mythic, okay? I also posted a couple of videos on my YouTube channel, total duds. I do 2 runs with mythical boss layers. They did torment level, I think it was torment 5 or 6 or maybe even higher. They did not drop any mythic. It was a total dud. So it's not a guarantee. It's a possibility, but it's better, increases your chance maybe in 5-10%. Maybe if you have 10 of those in 10 runs, you will have a chance to get a mythic unique. Right now, I would not recommend you do that because the state of mythics right now, it's totally broken. It is disgusting. Okay, so we're waiting for a patch from Blizzard that supposedly will fix this mythic problem. You can craft uniques, but you cannot wear 2 of them. And there is basically 0 chance that one of the original mythic uniques actually drop. You have to be insane. It's easier to gain the lottery than to get one of the original mystical mythic uniques dropping. So Blizzard is working on that. That thing was reported, and hopefully that will be fixed. So don't waste any of that right now. Wait until the new patch comes up, and maybe there is a chance that they will fix it. So in any case, we have here a nightmare dungeon. I think we have 30 minutes. We can do a nightmare dungeon. Let's see. There is another thing that I would recommend. Before you do a nightmare dungeon, you would check, your nightmare sigils and ensure that you have no one that is a whisper, because, okay, I got no whisper here. So, see, I got a lot of nightmare dungeons, folks. All of them is a little different. Ruins, Igoi, Hierophant Pyre, Garanhold, and none of them right now is on a Helltide or it is a whisper. So the thing that I would suggest is that don't do it right now. Wait until one of you guys, one of your sigils is within a whisper, and then you can kill 2 strakes, two rabbits with a single stroke, right? So first you do the nightmare dungeon. Second, you will get the favors. So I think this is the best way to do it. The reason I put them on the chest is the reason that I put everything on the chest. You die, this thing dies with you, and you really don't want to lose all of that sigils, because you can create escalation sigils with them. Let's create an escalation sigil so you can see how an escalation sigil is created. So these are my sigils. I have one escalation here, okay? Endless gates in Havelwar. All I need to do is put 5 of those regular sigils here and do an amalgamation and transmute this. And then I create an escalation sigil. So they're supposed to be different. So this is House of the Damned, and this is Endless Gates. And of course, if any of those are whispers, they will have the little whisper signal all the way on the bottom left. So right now I don't have any, so they rotate. So let's put these guys back, and of course I am also going to save these materials, because you know, if I die, and there is always a possibility, I want this to be on my chest. So I never ever carry anything that is I'm going to regret losing on me. Everything goes on the chest. Okay? Everything goes on the chest. If you want to play hardcore, everything goes on the chest. You can clear up your chest later on outside of a stream or your downtime, whatever. Don't carry with you, because it is the fate of every hardcore character. Eventually, they will die. Okay? So, right now, we'll have to just go and, you know, generate a random one. And let's do this. And that is the last showcase, and we'll get out of... Actually, I'm just going to walk through all of this mess. If you saw that, this thing just dropped on my face, right? Gotta be careful with this, you know. This is how people die in Nightmare. You know, two things: the butcher and these things that come from the sky. So now all I have to do is just go back here and go to the other path and collect any loot that I may have left behind. And don't forget, the wolves are the one that is supposed to do all the damage, not you. So this is Hex or Iron Maiden. Every time I have a rune that casts Iron Maiden for me.
Get that one. That's one. There's one. Get that one. That's one.
Okay, so we got a nice room. Okay, I want to check that room. Okay, movement speed, not bad. I really want the bulwark. And then again, guys, you know, because of the pull-off, look at that. We can just go and abuse this mechanic. I think the Druid is really, you know, you saw how much damage I took? Yeah, man, you gotta be careful. You don't want to die, and this is just normal. It's because of my gear is so suboptimal. Definitely need a little bit more cooldown reduction. So this guy also channels, so meaning, you know, see, I need to be a little bit more specific with the damage over time and channeling, and check to see if this skill is going to continue. But I love this synergy between, you know, this cataclysm and the whole thing. Okay, where is Pyrocrest? Okay, I need to go over here, I guess. Just a chest was not really where we needed to go. Okay, so again, where do we? Okay, probably on top over here. Something. Oh yeah. Yes, and this is a lot of fun, folks. Even with this crappy gear, you know, it so deserves better gear than this. So if I was in a higher level, I would have died here. So I took a big hit and had to even drink some potion. So that tells me that, you know, I don't have enough life, I don't have enough armor, I don't have enough defense. I definitely will need to work on that. I don't have enough resistance. which means I suck. So if it was not normal, I would be dead already. So this guy definitely has some work to do. He is cool, but not that cool. Another big hit, and frankly I don't even know who or what actually hit me, but I took another big hit, so my life went down. Okay, so let's face the boss. The boss is the one that actually doesn't really scare me because of rabies. That triangle out there, and there is a lot of poison on the boss. So bosses here go out very, very, very fast. And now I got a full bag of stuff that I can work with. And I gain more Paragon levels too. So what is next for this guy? Exactly the same thing that I've done with the previous one. They pretty much at the same level, with the exception of the Warlock, which the Warlock is a little ahead because I have worked on its gear a little bit better. But right now, this Druid, you know, there are pieces of gear here that have no aspect. Look at that. You know, this is lame. And I need to make sure that this thing actually is on a par with the appropriate aspects that I want, with the appropriate synergies, you know, with the abuse of the things that I want to abuse. Now, if I do some vulnerable, can I make vulnerable? Can I make weaken? Can I code them? I don't know if you guys remember on the past episodes. Go take a look at the list. When I was doing my Necromancer, the Necromancer was all about not just the skeletons, but the Necromancer was freezing everything. And anything that is frozen can be shattered, and anything that can frozen does not attack me back. So this is the ideas that you have to put into how do I want my guy to behave. You know, is he a poison guy? Yeah, I want to do a poison guy. Okay, who is the best class for poisoning? Oh, Spiritborn is good. Rogue is good. You know, I'm doing a rogue regular guy. But see, rogue is good because I can imbue with poison. The thing is, how much can I abuse that mechanic? Okay, can I make that poison do a huge amount of damage and kill things with a single hit of poison? It's possible. Okay, so that's how you work. You know, in this case, this Druid is all about these storms and the werewolves and the rabies for finishing boss, right? So that's how I need to make it work, and I need to make synergies in terms of, okay, and I'm going to cause, the storm is really good to make things vulnerable. Once things is vulnerable, I need to get multipliers for critical damage and for vulnerable damage. So that's when I'm going to start to pack my damage. Now, next thing is protection. Actually, top before the damage is protection. Every single piece of gear will have to have a lot of life packed. So max HP all the way in every single piece of gear, and resistance, willpower, all of that stuff will come into play for this druid to go and run on torment. And once you get on the torment level, then it's going to get ancestrals. Then I'll switch all that equipment for ancestral gear. Then I started to look for best of slots, and this is a process. It's a process. Okay, first gotta survive all the way to level 70. Once you get to level 70, you have gear 850. You start to get your gear to 850 the way you want, with the appropriate affixes, with the appropriate mechanics. And then from next step is, okay, I need to get in level 900 because I want all ancestrals, start working with greater affixes, start to temper. If you get a really good piece of gear, one of those uniques that is part of a build, mythic unique, you can make it mythic. Now there is recipes in the cube for making that mythic uniques. Once you get that, there will be all max to the point, and then you start building it from this point on, folks. I hope you have enjoyed. We did a showcase of the Warlock, we did a showcase of the Spiritborn, we did a showcase of the Druid. All of them played in a total different way. All of them are quite powerful in their own ways. And it is hardcore. It's just a little bit different than a regular. And I think with that, I am going to stop this series. And next week, we're going to go back to the regular, Souls kind of a game. I want to do a couple of Souls games. There is Enotria, which is a mighty cool Italian game. It is based on Italy culture. Pretty good game, okay? Very interesting. I think you guys are going to like it. So, I really wanted to do at some point in time the Lies of P. So right now I'm going for Enotria because it's newer. Not a lot of people know. And also it is a decent Souls-like game for you to start, okay? There are two modes into Enotria. One is the story mode, the other one is the Souls mode. Souls mode, it is not that difficult, but it is going to be very hard if you're coming into the Souls side of the game. Besides that, it's going to take longer to platinum the game. So I think I'm going for the story mode. It is the full game. It is a little toned down. It's pretty much like Stellar Blade, so you can do Stellar Blade into the regular mode or the toned down mode. Even the toned down mode is not that easy. So that's it for this week. I wish you guys a really good weekend. Keep on watching the FIFA World Cup, so there will be great games coming up. So I didn't miss a single game. I'm a sucker for football. So I hope you guys enjoying. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed this episode, go ahead. Don't be afraid to be happy. Click the thumb up button. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next week. Have a great weekend.